Hey guys, I've decided to start a cult. No particular reason as to why.
You're fired.
Anyways, I'm basing it around squares. They're the third coming of Christ in my book, and they also cured my son's blindness.
Picross, or nonograms, are puzzles where you fill in a grid according to the numbers along each row and column. I have just explained to you every single Picross game.
I've already looked at a bunch of them, and wouldn't you believe it, I played even more. So let's pick up where we left off with the Picross S series.
This is the premier Picross series developed by Jupiter. A whole planet made this. I played through 1 to 5 the last time, and since then I played 6, 7, and 8, and it's more of the same. Regular puzzles, mega, color, clip, the whole 9 yards. Well, joke's on me, because Picross S9 adds a rewind function. That's really gonna spice up the bedroom. These are really the gold standard. One thing that I didn't mention before was how they have multiplayer, so you and a friend, or maybe 2 more friends, can complete puzzles together.
I forced my friends to play this with me, and not to brag, but I'm a lot better at Picross than them. I play these games too much, it's on me.
Jupiter has put out 10 Picross S series games, the Genesis and Master System one, and 9 Picross S games. They are all pretty much the same, but they did put out a more original title. Do you want your Picross to be stressful? Well then, Picross X, Picbits vs what the fuck is this name? Picross X, Picbits vs Uzboross is for you! This game takes the standard 5x5 puzzles and turn it into a fast-paced challenge. There's a lot of different modes that change up how you solve these puzzles. And overall, I don't know, it's kinda fun. It is the most unique Picross game I have played. It makes you more of an active participant in solving the puzzles, making it difficult for me to do what I normally do when playing Picross. Listen to indoctrination speeches. I prefer to relax and zone out when playing Picross, so this active setup isn't really for me. But wait, this one is monetizable. It has customization options for almost everything in the game. The cursor, the background, the Picbits, the worm. Would you like to play Picross in hell, perhaps? They even have DLC packs with cosmetics based off of Jupiter's other games.
I will never play these. I would recommend sticking with the S series if you're interested. This game is double the price of any single game, and I only got a fraction of enjoyment out of it. And I get off the square, so that's saying something.
I want to move on to the 3DS because Jupiter was popping off with their Picross games on that thing. 9 Picross E games, themed Picross based off of Zelda, Pokemon, Final Fantasy, Club Nintendo, Hello Kitty. Where do I sign up?
You're asking too much from me. Yeah, so with my limited powers as a cult leader, I wasn't able to get any of these games working on my very real 3DS. My theory is that this is because they were all downloadable titles, and checking back in with the eShop, oh no, it's a corpse. There was one game I was able to get working, and that was Picross 3D Round 2.
The sequel to Picross 3D on the DS. They really jumped the gun with that name, huh? This is the Picross series helmed by HAL Laboratories. They made Kirby, and then decided to go all in on squares. This is essentially the same game from the DS, but with new puzzles. It's annoying going through the tutorials when I already know what I'm doing.
I am so ahead of this game. I am mentally superior. You're playing 3D chess, I'm playing 5D chess, with multiversal time travel.
There is an important difference though. The addition of orange numbers. The rows and columns will now have color-coded numbers, and you have to paint with the correct color. If both colors are indicated, that means each color is somewhere in that row. They don't really have a difference apart from that. But when you finish a puzzle, the blue blocks stay as cubes, and the orange blocks turn into other shapes.
Blasphemy!
It's a more challenging version of standard Picross, and it's pretty fun. The puzzles are interesting too, and finishing them we get some interesting sculptures like the solar system, the letter H, and a kite. There's a whole pack of puzzles based around poison.
Picross is teaching us to kill.
There's also amiibo support. They give you character-specific puzzles.
So, as I was about to sit down and film this, I found out that Jupiter is releasing Picross S Plus later this year, which will bring all of the Picross E series to the Nintendo Switch, including the Japanese-only Picross E9. My work is never over.
Have you ever been playing Picross, but then this happens?
Yeah, I only play this for the plot.
There are a few narrative Picross games. I talked about one last time with Murder by Numbers. But when it comes to story modes in Picross, there are two opinions. One, it gives a unique spin on a genre, keeping it fresh and interesting. Two, the story is getting in the way of the Picross. I hate this.
Guess which one I'm in.
Starting off with Pixel Cross Adventure, you can just say Pixel, my god. You play as a stupid child as an evil witch person steals a powder that makes things pixelated and starts tearing apart the very fabric of reality. They are already pixelated. You walk around and solve puzzles. I didn't care for this. I just want to play Picross and they keep talking to me. Ew. One thing that I haven't properly appreciated with Picross games is their visual clarity. Being able to properly see the grid, which boxes are marked off or filled in, and being able to clearly read the numbers. Not here! Some of the themes are unbearable, and the game starts you off with CRT scanlines. I never thought that seeing the puzzle would be a challenge.
Moving on to something that's hopefully better, Pixel Puzzle Makeout League, a puzzle dating sim. Damn it!
So in this game, you play as Pixel Girl, who has the power of viewing everything as Picross, bestowed onto her by God. During the first 10 minutes, you get kidnapped.
Some superhero you are.
And this gives us our first solvable Picross puzzle. And this has one fatal flaw that makes this game unbearable. In every Picross game that has controller support, you can hold down a direction and a button, and it will fill in that row or column. And in each game, there is a bit of a startup, just long enough for you to fully commit. In Makeout League, this pause is so long that it makes solving these puzzles a pain to get through. The puzzles themselves are at least creative, like Darkness. That's funny.
And that's what this game is. Funny.
The writing isn't the worst it could have been, but it leans into the comedy and often falls flat on its face. It reminds me of my middle school stories in the worst ways.
But where's the fucking?
You may be asking. Well, we are introduced to our potential puzzle-based superhero dateable NPCs. You have Chess, the leader and a paranoid grandmaster, Crosswords, the smart one, Sudoku, the gamer girl, and
What the fuck is this thing?
the anthropomorphic puzzle piece. They're fine, I don't really care for them, especially not the puzzle piece. So I played for a bit, and now we can walk home with any of our teammates, and I chose Chess. And this funny joke got interrupted with a puzzle. This happens often. The puzzles will just happen without any justification or warning. Comparing this to Murder by Numbers, another visual novel type game with the gimmick of Picross, those puzzles are how it does investigations. You click on this, solve the puzzle, new clue. Here, it feels like an unnecessary roadblock to get back to the story, which is uninteresting.
So what we are left with is quite possibly the worst Picross game I have ever played. And yes, even worse than Picross Love.
The final narrative Picross game is PictoQuest. You have to save the Picross paintings from Moonface. Nyark, nyark, nyark. You can select between Arville, whose mom created the paintings, or some random guy. I actually liked this one. It was fun, it controlled well, and the narrative aspects served more as flavor rather than a roadblock. When solving a puzzle, you're fighting against monsters. That's neat. You can also get items or power-ups to help you solve the puzzles or freeze monsters, and it's an interesting way to use hints. This one was just nice and charming.
There's a lot of ways you can play Picross. Controller, mouse and keyboard, or fondle.
Mobile Picross games are abundant, and all use touch controls and ads. They use a lot of ads. It's fine. I find that this is the easiest control method to make mistakes, but as a casual experience, I'd say these are pretty good.
I'm a professional Picross player. I have no time for casuals.
I tried a few for this video, and my favorite one was Pixel Puzzle Collection, which has a bunch of puzzles inspired by Konami properties. I see the gamer thing and I clap. The rest of them are games I found on Steam, most of them free even. Starting with Cupid Nanograms, this game was developed by Supernova Games and features their own original characters, which also appear in a dating sim. There's no dating in this one, thankfully. One thing that I don't usually like about keyboard and mouse Picross games is that it's easier for you to make mistakes. You can easily start filling in a column or row you weren't intending. But this game locks you into the row and even measures how many tiles you covered. It's good design that mitigates some of the usual problems, but it can get confusing at times. Mainly when you're filling in a row that already has tiles filled in, so you have to do quick maths. Most games go by the standard 5x5 layout, 10x10, 15x15, 20x20. This one has 3x3 and 16x16 boards.
Aw, you shouldn't have.
Once you've played too much Picross and start seeing squares in your dreams, you start to memorize different layouts, i.e. a row with 1 and 3 on a 5x5 will always look like this, or a 12 on a 15x15 will always take up these tiles. That gets thrown out the window on a 16x16.
Admittedly, this is very nitpicky. But I'm the one with the cult, I can do whatever I want.
Picross Touch. I don't know, it's cool. The main idea of this one is community-created puzzles. You can make your own puzzles, upload them to the Steam Workshop, and play whatever.
I actually used this to make part of the anime intro for my One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 video. Wow, that's so cool.
This game also locks your mouse into a column or row when filling it in, but it doesn't show you how many tiles you've covered, which is sorely missing. Nonogram's Master's Legacy is nice.
That's all.
It's free, you can buy more puzzles, it's got a nice vibe to it. I love vibing.
This last Picross game is for all of you who's got that dog in ya. Woof woof.
Puppy Cross. You complete puzzles based around dogs and dog toys, and you can put them into a dog park, which you can customize. Here's my park. 80 Shiba Inus and 1 rubber duck. You are guided through this game by this dog in a bow tie, and I need everyone to look at him. Did you know you could pet by pressing right click? I did like this one. The presentation goes a long way, but it penalizes you if you make a mistake. This is my least favorite way to play Picross. My issue with it is that it takes away the actual solving of the puzzle from you. Instead, it feels more like I'm brute forcing it. PictoQuest did this too, but for that one, I just felt like I had to lock in when a challenge for no mistakes comes up. This game has a Dalmatian mode where it creates a randomly generated puzzle and brands a Dalmatian with it when you solve it. That's cool, I like that. This game later got free DLC in the form of Cat Mode, which has you solving clip puzzles and unlocking different cats and cat toys and essentially doubles the amount of puzzles in the game. Awesome.
I would start off with the Picross S series. Those are, in my opinions, the best Picross games on the market. And who knows, maybe someday you'll be on the same level as I am. Across every version of Picross I have played, I have spent a minimum of 369 hours playing Picross. That's over 15 days. Holy shit.